My name is Scott Levine. I am the Marketing Development Manager at the IEEE Computer Society. Welcome to the June 2017 Computer Society Learning Series webinar. If you're joining us for the first time today, I work in the membership department, and we organize these monthly webinars to help engage members with their member resources and benefits. We've been doing these for the last year and a half and encourage you to view all the previous webinars on computer.org. Today's topic is navigating the Computer Society digital library. Just to get everyone used to the language here, we at Computer Society, we do tend to abbreviate the name of the library to CSDL. The Computer Society Digital Library is one of the crown jewels of the Society. It contains over 600,000 articles from the Computer Society's publication program, which includes magazines, transactions, which are our journals, and conference papers. Georgianne will walk you through the digital library and all that it offers, and will take you on a quick tour to show you how it works and how to maximize your time utilizing this valuable resource. Before I introduce Georgianne, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. The webinar is being recorded and will be emailed out to all attendees in a couple of days along with the slides. There will be a Q&A at the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. If we don't answer all the questions, there is a log of the questions submitted, and we will get back to you with an answer. Georgianne Carr has been employed by the IEEE Computer Society since 1995. She first joined the organization as a marketing manager responsible for promotion of membership and periodicals. Currently, she is a senior manager of digital library sales, marketing, and product development with responsibility for the CSDL as well as focused product sales. Prior to joining the IEEE Computer Society, Georgianne was employed by Reed Ellisver, working as their circulation director for their medical publication division. And with that, Georgianne, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Scott. Welcome, everyone, and I'm very happy to be here talking about the Computer Society Digital Library to you today. Our agenda is to just give you a brief overview of the CSDL. I want to talk a little bit about how it differs from the ACM Digital Library, which you may be familiar with as well. Talk to you about your member access and subscription options. The main focus of this will also be the demo of the interface so that you're comfortable navigating. And of course, we'll take questions and answers, as Scott mentioned before, through the chat. So what is the Computer Society Digital Library? It is hosted on the computer.org's platform. It includes all of the IEEE Computer Society periodicals with all of the, back to the very first issues. It does also include all of our proceedings with the archives only back to 1995. We haven't digitized those further back than that. You may also know that the Computer Society Digital Library is a subset of the content that's found in Explorer's platform. That's IEEE's platform for accessing the IEEE intellectual property. So there are over 600,000 articles and papers in the CSDL today, and we're adding content daily. As I mentioned, it includes 37 periodicals with legacy data all the way back to 1968. And there's a lot of seminal content in the CSDL, so there is quite a bit of usage in the back file. You'd be surprised. There are over 9,000 conference papers, and of course, we're publishing in advance of any print issues. There are 13 magazines in the CSDL, and I've listed them all here, covering various areas of computing. And we do have some archives of some publications that are no longer being published: Concurrency, Distributed Systems Online, and Design and Test. The magazines are intended to be more application-focused, practice-oriented for immediate solutions. The transactions that are contained in the CSDL are intended to be more state-of-the-art research papers, top quality, and as you can see, there are some very broad transactions, such as software engineering in terms of the topic covering, and more focused transactions, such as haptics. Conference papers. Because our field moves so quickly, conferences tend to be where the latest research is being published first. A lot of the content in the CSDL is coming out of the conferences. With this over 600,000 papers, about 500,000 of those are conference proceeding articles. So there are literally, thousands of different conferences that we're publishing in the areas of, and these are just a few of the ones that are cutting edge. I always like to mention the fact that the Computer Society Digital Library is multidisciplinary because there's content in there. As you know, computing touches all areas these days. We have a history publication, the Annals of the History of Computing. An education, learning technologies is very important in education today. For those that are interested in graphics, design, and art, our CG&A and multimedia publications are relevant. Computing and science and engineering is cross-disciplinary for all sciences. We even get into the psychology of things with transactions on effective computing, where it's looking at how computing impacts human behavior. And of course, security and privacy, ethics, law, business, information management, everybody's concerned about computing these days. Here you can see the content impacting dance, art, supply chain modeling, and social and economical and ethical challenges. So you get a little bit of everything in the CSDL. Applications of the content, it can be used in many different ways. You can do patent-related searching, looking at current awareness and what's going on, what's coming out new in the marketplace. Certainly R&D. Talk a little bit about our interface. It is mobile ready, so you can view it on multiple devices. We think that it has a modern look and feel. Our institutional customers can customize their view with their own logos if they're subscribers. Search returns are returned very quickly. This is ADA compliant. And we have social media tools, and there are some inactive notifications. If you're looking at some of our conference proceedings, maybe they're not published every year, there appears to be a gap. So we note that in the CSDL so that people aren't just wondering, is this article missing, or did this issue not get published? Covered that. Just to take a little bit of a look at how this Computer Society Digital Library differs from ACM and its digital library. We're both nonprofit organizations. We both cover the same field, so if you can belong to both organizations, if you can subscribe to both digital libraries, then you probably are covered in terms of everything that you need in this area. The CSDL does have 30% more articles than the ACM, so that is a substantial amount of volume of content that the CSDL has relative to the ACM's digital library. We think that the Computer Society focuses a bit more in terms of industry and best practices, the latest research, and in that area along those lines. Of course, the Computer Society does do standards development. We also have certification programs in the area of software and ethical hacking that were developed to help validate people's skills and advance their careers in industry. And if you compare our publications, we think we have better quality publications in the same field. So you all as a member do get access to some of the CSDL. If you have joined with a Preferred Plus or Research membership bundles, you automatically get 12 free downloads with your membership. If you're a Student Computer Society member, you automatically get full access to the CSDL. And you can subscribe to the CSDL if you need more access than you're currently getting with your membership option for only $67 for the rest of the calendar year. And that price is good through August 15 this year, at which point afterwards we will transition to 2018 membership year. I'm going to go ahead and move to the demo, but first, if there are any questions, let's see that I may be able to answer anyone. I'll be happy to do that before we switch over to the demo.
Georgianne, sure. There was one question, are research papers available to CS members through the CSDL?
So we do make some content accessible on a monthly basis, freely accessible, but most of the content is behind a paywall. So you would need to use either your 12 downloads for access to the CSDL content, or subscribe, in which case you get full access. Are there any other questions before I move on to the demo?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move to the demo here. And here we are on the Computer Society homepage. I have already logged in. But if you have not logged in yet, you will need to log in order to get access to the CSDL content to which you're subscribed or got through your membership. And there'll be a little login icon in this area here where you can log in. If you can see here, the digital library is really the second selection in terms of the main navigation bar. And we'll just go ahead and go to the digital library homepage. There are a couple of different ways that people tend to use the CSDL. One is to browse, and the other one is to search. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the browse first. Here you will see some little bit of information about the CSDL. If you scroll down, you can see the main content type that is contained in the CSDL. We have our magazines, our transactions, our one letters journal, and the letters journal is similar to a transaction except they're shorter papers, and then our conference proceedings, which are set up alphabetically. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to browse down on a periodical. We'll go ahead and select transactions on software engineering, and you will see here that all of the available issues will show in the screen. We also publish articles as preprints before they've been finalized in terms of editing, assigned an issue, and paginated in this area here. So you can also see articles that have not even really been officially assigned to a formal issue yet. If you select the particular volume, you will then see all of the articles that were issues that were published in that year. If you select the issue, you will then see essentially like a table of contents for that particular issue. A couple of different things I'll point out here. You have, as a member, options for downloading the complete issue. So you can put it on your reader. You can get an EPUB, a zip file of that as well. Download a full PDF file. You can also sign up for the RSS feed for this particular publication here. Citations. A lot of our users do want to download the citations, and these are standard kind of formats that are used for downloading citations, so you can pick the one that works best for you. If you continue to scroll down, you'll see the abstract for each of these, a link for the abstract, full text PDF and full text HTML. All of the periodical content has, from 1995 forward, has HTML as well as PDF. I'll show you an article. There is some interesting things that allow you to do things with the HTML that the PDF article can't do. The authors are also highlighted, so I'll go ahead and start with the abstract and we'll go from there. Here you have your general information on the abstract, the DOI for this particular article, more information about this article. All of the abstract information is available, freely accessible, so anyone can use that. From here, you can share the link to this abstract, social media. You can also search for other articles by that particular author. We can go ahead and download the PDF, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at the HTML. So here now we're in the HTML, and if you go ahead and select highlight over a particular image, it'll increase for you. One of the nice things with this is you can go ahead and copy the image. So it's essentially like clickable math where you can copy an image and take it and use it for your own purposes. So you can show math as different types of commands, and that can be very useful for researchers and save you some time. So that's the HTML. PDFs are PDFs, so I'm not going to bother to show you that. If I want to go ahead and see what other articles this particular author has authored, here you can see where that results are coming up. I'm going to go back to where we were. And at the top of the screen, you'll kind of see your train, of where you've been, and we'll just go right back to the CSDL homepage for now. I want to show you how the navigation for browsing works for our transactions. I'll go ahead and select the letter I. There'll be a lot of conferences that start with the letter I. It's always acronyms with conferences, so if you remember the acronym for your conference, you can search that way, and I'll show you some search options as well next. So here we have the different conferences that are all starting with the letter I. I'm going to go ahead and select conference. And here you can see we have the 2012 conference, and here's the notation that I'd mentioned before where that conference is not available in that particular year, so that you're not wondering if it should be in here or not. If I select the year that I'm interested in, it will essentially pull up the table of contents of the conference and all of the papers. Again, you can go to your abstract. And in the case of conferences, you have just the PDF download option. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the CSDL homepage and just point out a few different resource areas. If your library or institution is interested in subscribing to this Computer Society Digital Library, there are information and resources for libraries and institutions here. Here's where you can sign up for RSS feeds, for individual publications, or the entire digital library. Newsletter also gets sent out monthly that just identifies what content is new and any changes to the interface, improvements and enhancements. There are terms of use to the CSDL. It is proprietary content that is intended to be for a member's use only. So you can read more details about that here. And then information about peer review. All of our content is peer reviewed. Here's a link if you're a member to subscribe, if you're interested in authoring, and so forth. So are there any questions about browsing before I move on to the search functionality?
Not necessarily on browsing, but there was one question from Edward. He said, for the zip file option, what is the underlying format?
I don't know the answer to that, Edward. Hopefully we'll be able to reply back to you on that later.
All right, yeah, Edward, we will get back to you, Georgia, and that was the only question that came in during the first part of the demo.
Okay, great. So from the CSDL homepage, you can go ahead and search the CSDL, and I'm going to just type in integrated systems, and this will take you to the advanced search page. So the advanced search page, of course the CSDL is searchable from anywhere, but there's a number of different options that you have in terms of searching as it relates to your preference. There's a little bit of information about using search here. This allows you to just use the Google interface to search the CSDL without these other filters and options here. Direct search is actually just a little bit of code that you can take and implant into a web page of your own that will allow you to just directly search the CSDL without having to come to computer.org if that's of interest to you. You'll see here that there's different filters for your search term. You can choose to search in the full text, title, author, date, if you have a particular date you're interested in. If you know the ISBN or the ISN number, that's probably not typically used, but it's an available option. And exact phrase. You can sort by relevance, and that our system automatically determines how relevant that term is within a paper by date and publication title. And you can display however many results per page up to 100 that you would like. You will only ever be able to see 100 results, but like typical Google search, here you can see how many total hits there were for integrated systems across the entire digital library. And you can also specify a date range. If you really only want to look for the last 3 years, you can specify that here. And then if you scroll down, you'll see your results. Here's the first result for integrated systems. It was found in a conference publication. If I want to go to that conference publication from here, I can do that. I can go straight to the PDF. I can view the abstract, or I can say more like this. So let's say I'm scrolling down and interested in certain number of articles. I say, yeah, this one is really pretty much what I'm looking for. I want more articles like this one. Then our system will go ahead and return results that have articles that have similar concepts to that paper that you've selected. If I want to go ahead and change this to title, and I'll go ahead and change my date. '15. Through now. Go ahead and enter. And now you can see that I've limited my search in a sense where I've only got 3 hits. So the search is very easy to use, and I know that they're also continually doing enhancements to the search. You can go ahead and send us your recommendation. You can search just authors. So if I want to search for author, here are all the Wangs that have written articles in the digital library, and I can go ahead and say yes, it's these are the ones that I want here now. And here are the articles that were published by that particular Wang Long Wang. And I can search proceedings. There are some special options for searching proceedings. With the proceedings, I can also search by acronym, conference name, the date, maybe I remember when the conference was held. There are additional options for searching in your proceedings as well. Any questions on the search? It's pretty straightforward, really, the interface. It's intended that you can just come right in and use it. So hopefully it is. If you do have questions or comments or suggestions, we welcome them. Please send them to help@computer.org, and we'll be more than happy to take your feedback and continually enhance the interface for you. Any questions, Scott, before we kind of wrap things up?
I haven't gotten any other general questions. A couple of people have emailed us specifically about trying to access specific articles, but nothing specific. And as I've been communicating with them, we'll coordinate with our help desk team and see where those stand and get back to you on that. But I think that's it. We'll leave the chat box open for a little bit longer in case any of you have any more questions. Thank you, Georgianne. That was a great presentation and a wonderful tour of the Computer Society Digital Library. You share a lot of great insights on navigating the library that I think will help everyone who listened in sort of maximize their use out of it the next time they log on. Our next webinar, we are very excited for it. For the first time ever, we are scheduling a presidential debate between Halsey Mueller and Cecilia Metra. They are the two candidates running for President-elect 2018 and will be the Computer Society president in 2019. The election, voting for elections opens up on August 7th, so we are looking to schedule the webinar between probably July 24th and August 2nd. As that sort of implies, we don't have a date at the moment, but we will know one soon, and as soon as we do, we'll put all the information up on computer.org and email it out to you. We are hoping to have the webinar in those dates, so we can also email the webinar out of the presidential debate for anyone who didn't get a chance to register and listen and watch it live. Once again, I'd like to thank Georgianne and everyone attending today's webinar. We hope to see you one in the future. Thanks again and have a good one. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.